Hey guys. So the past couple weeks I've been trying to work on some of the animal stats. And this is again an example here, which I've showed in the previous devlogs. We have the actual workflow for having all the different animal stats flow into the main ones that I want to use: age, bond, health, and happiness. Um, and then in addition, last week I've talked about the actual stat values that will change and represent how it affects each of these stats. So, for example, if you feed the animal, you get one bond, two health, two happiness. If you um, leave the animal outside in rain or snow, it's -1 for each of the stats. This week, I focused on just making some UI and setting up the systems in Unity, as well as implementing this into the player interaction system. So, we have our little animal here. This is actually one of the first models I made in Blender. Um, so when the animal passes by, check comes up. And if he's close enough, the colliders match, you click check. And it comes up with the animal's name, the heart color, and then also some information about it. So he looks hungry. So if I go into the stats here, I check off isFed. It'll go up to him. It'll check again. And he looks happy today. If I go back, and let's say the health is 95 and happiness is 95. He looks very happy. Now the bond color, let's say the bond is 500 actually, not 100. So when you click on him, is it actually have a pinkish color heart. Let's say it's 1,000. And it's red, and that's going to be the top level of bond. If he is sick, even if he's fed, it should come up as he looks sick. And eventually I want to make it so the animal's color is maybe grayed out a little bit when he's sick or unhappy. And maybe his face, I don't know how I'll do this yet because this is like a texture. But I might have to make the model with some kind of like shape keys or something to be able to change the actual animal look, and maybe some type of emoji or something popping up over the head to signal to the player that he's doing well or not, or they're not. It's not doing well. So if the health, let's say, is at 30 and happiness is at 30, and let's change the speed to 2 for whatever reason. I have to change. So sick is going to be the first thing that comes up regardless of the health or happiness if it's sick. And then he looks sad today. So that is currently how I set it up. So I want to have this come up. So when you interact with an animal or an NPC, I want this certain part to come up, as well as like some kind of dialogue with the NPC. With the animals, more will just be kind of like a status update of how they're doing. And maybe something more in the UI, maybe something for like the animals, and you could see what the individual levels are, like of happiness and health and bond, and at a glance. So that's that. For next week I'm going to work on making the day night cycle actually reflect what, or actually increase the animal stats in health or happiness or bond, depending on what affects the animal. So if it's raining, for example, and they're still outside, let's see if I can get one of the rainy. So if it's like raining and then the animal's outside, it should lose some kind of health or happiness. Looks hungry. And that's about it for this week. I will show you guys in the code, how this works. So if I go to animal stats, and this is the main place that I have created this. So starting off at the bond of 100, health of 75, happiness of 75. So you'll be able to increase the stat based on the different interactions, maybe petting or feeding or anything like that. Decrease the stats here. check the status. So this is what we were looking at just now. So if it's sick, regardless of anything else, even if it's the health will probably drop automatically. I haven't done that yet, but if it's sick, the animal's sick, which will probably occur if it's left out in the rain or its health is below a certain threshold. It'll be sick. If the animal is not fed, it'll show it's not hungry, and then it'll go into the or it looks hungry. Then it'll go into the other factors regarding the health and happiness. So here I have if it's over 90 and 90, it's equal to very happy. 75 is happy. Fine and sad is here too. So I'll definitely tweak this as I go, but I just wanted to make a basic type of dialogue depending on how the animal is in its stats. There's also this here, if the animal's outside and it's either snowy or rainy, it's going to show up as animal looks unhappy. So it's kind of signal to the player, get the animal inside if it's not in great weather. And then maybe if it's sunny, I'm going to say, looks very happy out in the sun. Or some kind of like short indication that the player can know, immediately what they need to do without getting too complex with the values and stats. Check bond is for the heart color. So if the bond's over 600 right now, it'll be red. If it's greater than 100, it's going to be green. Otherwise, it's going to be white. So normally when you buy the animal, I think it's going to be green, or when you tame it, and then you'll be able to work your way up from there. Some interactions here: feed, pet, brush, and then add day is part of the event, which every time there's a new day event, which I'm going to be working on next week, it's going to actually affect the values rather than just tweak it like I showed you in the this video. Add hour is the same kind of thing as add day, except that obviously it's an event that's based on each hour. So each hour that the animal's outside and the weather's sunny, it's going to gain these stats. Otherwise, if it's rainy or snowy, it's going to decrease. And then otherwise, if it's just cloudy, it's going to be no value. The animal could be outside, but it's not going to gain or lose any kind of health, happiness, or bond. So this is what I have so far. I'll continue to work on this, and we'll see what I could come up with next week. Let me know if you guys have any questions or comments below, and thank you for watching.